Hello, it's Randy Duck and welcome back for another video. Today I've got 3 videos to show you in the IS-2-2, and as the video title will tell you, this is the video where I achieved the 3rd mark of excellence in the tank. Now, usually I'd have my crew and equipment I've used come up at the bottom of the screen. I haven't for this video, mainly because I've actually made this video, I'm away for work at the moment in my hotel room, so I didn't have access to that information. However, I have recently done a video on this tank and all that information is there, so if you want to see, just check back at my other videos in the IS-2-2 and you will see that. So this first video we've got for you today is a tier 9 lobby on Fearful Ridge. There is 1 enemy artillery in the game, and I think no enemy light tanks, which is nice. And initially we're going to go and try and play the left hand side of the map and see what we can do down there. Hopefully getting into sort of a heavy flank brawl, if you like, which is kind of what I want to do. And, you know, try and get some damage. Like I say, at this point, this video is just more involved around me going for that 3rd mark of excellence. So this tank is a tank which I've really enjoyed. Hence the reason why I decided, you know what, I'm going to 3rd mark it. Because free marking sometimes these days can be a bit more of a pain, I find. So I don't always bother doing it as much as I used to. Like, I've marked a lot of tanks, and I sort of slowed down doing it now. I only really do it if I really enjoy the tank, and I did enjoy this tank, I must admit. Like, it's not for everyone. Some people have, you know, prefer sort of the premium version of this tank with that higher alpha, but I've actually really liked the fantastic DPM this tank can offer. So here we go, we get to a position here. I don't want to overextend too early because I noticed there could be some tank destroyers covering this tank. There's also the enemy artillery as well, so I'm just trying to wait until I've got a little bit of support before I move around this, and this is why I am being a bit cagey here. So we spot this enemy T-77, obviously that is an autoloader. I don't want him to just come around and dump his clip in for me for free. So I'm trying to wait for him to almost bait him in to get closer, so that, you know, both of my friendly tanks can hit him. Thankfully I didn't go round that T-77 because there is a enemy Lorraine there as well, which could have just fully clipped us out. So we're trying to stay in a position where we've got a little bit of cover, we can backfire, you know, get a shot in, pull back into cover, and kind of waste the enemy tanks' clips. Because if they're firing their shots here and they go on a full reload, then we're going to know it's time to push these tanks. So that's why I'm kind of trying in my head to count the shells. You know, see, you know, he's fired at least 2 shots now, this Lorraine, and so far we're not really in any damage for that. I am going to try and push it and close the gap a little bit now, because I suspect this Lorraine might be on reload, or, you know, well, is potentially on reload, the way that he's backing up like this. So it's kind of allowed us to push forward. I'm also not getting shot by any tank destroyers covering there. Looking to try and get a shot into this Lorraine. Unfortunately, the T-77 kind of blocked a shot, came out there. The T-77 is coming around. I get 1 shot in, putting him onto a 1 shot. You can see the fantastic DPM when I'm only firing 1 gun at once. Obviously, if you fire both the guns for that dual gun mechanic, you're going to lose DPM. So in an engagement where I'm able to just completely, you know, free farm, I'm going to stick to using the single shotgun and then swap to the double shot where needed, where the situation arises. You know, if that tank's a 1 shot, I can fire the double shot. If I don't think I'm going to get a bigger opportunity to get damage in, I can fire the double shot. But where I've got the opportunity to keep getting damage in, I will stick to this single shotgun. We spotted this enemy T-32, or enemy T-32 got spotted in the open. We get a nice shot in there. We then finish off the enemy IS-2-2, who manages to put 1 shot into us, which is good. And so far we're in a really decent start to this game, having 2,700 damage almost, and picking up 3 kills with 8 enemy tanks remaining. Our base is fairly well defended as well, so I'm suspecting a lot of their tanks may be at their base still, or thereabouts, or to the right of their base. And I'm thinking about trying to move forward, but I get detected there, and they do still have 4 enemy or tank destroyers left, so I've got to be a little bit careful with those enemy tank destroyers. Actually, so I think they've got 5 tank destroyers left, and obviously some of them are going to be very stealthy, like the Waffle, the tier 9 Waffle. I'm going to find it very difficult to spot that tank, so I'm trying to be a little bit careful. But we lose our spot. We're trying to now get into a position where we can use this ridge as a little bit of a protection, whilst always closing the distance from the enemy team, getting into a position where we're going to keep those tanks proxy spotted, so our friendly tanks behind us can help cover us. as well as the fact just trying to close in the distance to the damage. So there's an enemy convoy here. I have no idea how much what gun he was using, but there's a classic example where the double shot and the flexibility of that double shot can come in really handy, because I realised I could kill him if I fired both guns. So I swapped to both guns and I was able to finish him off before he was able to put a shot into us, and that's just the flexibility of the dual gun mechanic, the dual barrel mechanic there. So we get a nice shot into that tank. It picks up a 4th kill, puts us on 3,200 odd damage. We then get a nice shot there into the enemy waffle. Enemy Foch gets spotted at the top of the hill, which we've got to be a little bit careful for. We're trying to move up high enough to keep shooting this waffle while trying to keep this rock in between us and that enemy Foch and the other enemy heavy towards our left. We do manage to put another shot in that waffle. The waffle loses his spot there, but soon gets detected again by our friendly teammates. We now got shots into this enemy tank in the bottom, and we're just in a fantastic position to pick up damage here, because these tanks are distracted and we're getting side shots into this enemy heavy tank through its turret there. Pick up another shot, which puts the tank on about a 2 shot, puts us on to about 5,000 damage and 4 kills. So again, you know, really decent game for our Mark of Excellence. I think the Mark of Excellence requirement when I was playing this tank was around about 3,000 or a little bit below, maybe sort of around 2,950. Once I got into the 90%, that's what it was required not to drop. So it's not, you know, it's not terribly hard in this tank. At least for me, I found I can average quite a lot of damage when I am using the top gun, of course. I think this tank stock is nowhere near as enjoyable to play. I suppose it's not very good stock, this tank. But when you're fully upgraded, it can be pretty good. Well, at least for me anyway, at least I found it just was a tank which clicked quite nicely with me. So now there's only 3 tanks remaining, and I'm just want to try and get as much out of this as I can. I'm half expecting not to get any more damage, just because I think our friendly teammates are a little bit quicker. We've got some friendly big alpha tank destroyers coming in, and I suspect this is probably going to be it for me. But I'm going to keep going, because you never know. You never know if you can just pick up a few more shots. We're on 5,300 damage, 4 kills. If I can get close to that 6,000 mark, it'd be really good for my progress of the Marks of Excellence. So we just got to keep going and just checking what their hit points are there, and trying to work out who's got the most hit points, because I can just, you know, trade shots at this point. We swapped to our dual gun mechanics. I'm thinking I'm only going to get 1 more shot into this waffle. We do hit that waffle and before he gets taken out, which was a good decision. We end up getting close to 6,000 mark. Now we can load our single shotgun and see if we can get a shot into the top bar of this Foch, which we do. It puts us on to about 6,200 damage with 4 kills, bringing us an end to the first replay of the video. So let's just get to the scoreboard. We've still got 2 more replays to come. So we get 4 kills, 6,200 damage. Yeah, no assistance in that game, but we do pick up the ace tanker and the high caliber. So that's it for replay number 1. 2 more replays to come. Let's move on to the second replay. Okay, so here we are for the second replay of the video. This time we are on Muro. There is 2 enemy artilleries in the game and 1 enemy light tank. We are top tier though, and I've decided that we're going to go and try and play the field area at the start, because it is team disruption, and quite often in this mode you can get into a brawl quite earlier in the field, and that's exactly what I want to do, being the fact that, you know, like I say, 1, we're top tier, so we're going to be able to do quite well, only fighting tanks of the same tier of us. Also, we're going for a Mark of Excellence. I just want to get into the fight as quickly as we possibly can. Enemy light tanks gets spotted. We try and get a shot into that tank. Unfortunately, we miss it. It is a dangerous tier 8 light tank, so we would like to try and get some shots in. Unfortunately for us, the enemy artillery is already looking to try and get a shot into us. We're trying to keep moving to make it so it's not so easy for the enemy artillery to hit us. We do have some support as well. So we're trying to just get into this fight as quickly as we possibly can. There's an enemy medium tank here which is sort of hold down, and we're trying to see if we can get a shot through his cupola. I'm being a little bit cautious of that light tank, which I don't want to come behind me, but I am now going to try and move in a closer distance, just being the fact that I want to get into this fight. I want to start getting damage into tanks and just taking away hit points of the enemy team. So we get a nice shot into that medium. As you can see, the artillery is looking at us, is looking to shoot us. Not a great deal I can do about that right now. I just need to try and get some damage in the board, and just right now I'm trying to take care of this medium. He's my first, focus fire, because if I can just get rid of some tanks, it's just going to make my life easier because I'm not fighting as many tanks. We've put some good punish into this medium tank so far, put us on to about 1,000 hit points. Enemy Tiger 2 is looking to shoot us, but I'm looking just to try, if I can, finish off this tank. I swapped to the dual gun mechanic just because that tank was, I couldn't kill him with the one shot, so I swapped to the 2 shots just to make sure we confirm our kill. And we managed to take away, I think, all of that tank's hit points and put us on to about 1,300 hit points. We do eat a shot there from the artillery, so I'm trying to move up just to make it not so predictable for the enemy artillery to shoot us. I'm also trying to help out our friendly medium tank here and stop him dying if I can by this enemy Italian heavy tank, the tier 7 heavy tank. So I should be able to make quick work of this tank with this DPM. The enemy TD does get spotted in the open, so I do take the opportunity to get that shot in. Now I'm going to try and finish off the heavy tank. Unfortunately, he does take out our medium before we're able to take him out, but we do confirm our second kill, putting us onto 2,300 damage. So far, this is still a very, very close game. It's very even. It's 11 versus 12. But now I've cleared those tanks out, it allows me to focus on the enemy Tiger 2. But I don't know quite what's potentially covering this Tiger 2. Obviously got the artillery looking for shooting us, but it could potentially have TDs also covering them. So I'm trying to move in a position where I'd be hold down, and now I just want to try and take care of this enemy Tiger 2 as quickly as I possibly can. But an IS-3 gets spotted, and again that puts us into a situation where I do have support from a friendly tank destroyer, but I want to just try and focus down a tank as quickly as I possibly can here. Ideally, I want to try and just take care of the IS-3 because I've already taken a bit of damage. We get a nice shot into that IS-3 there, and we do put damages ammo rack as well, which is good. Maybe we can get if he hasn't repaired it, we can get an ammo rack, but it looks like he has repaired it. Tiger 2 comes around, we get a shot straight through his track wheel. Looks like the IS-3 was going to go over onto us there, so we just right now we've got the enemy artillery constantly firing shots in our direction, which is not ideal, and we're fighting 2 tanks even though we do have support. IS-3 comes over. He's made a mistake here because this is going to allow us to focus this tank out as quickly as we possibly can, and then it allows us to only have to deal with the Tiger 2. We managed to bounce a shot there. I'm trying to put this IS-3 in front of us in such a way that the Tiger 2 can't shoot us. Take care of that IS-3, putting us on to just shy of 4,000 damage and 3 kills. Looking to get a finish from the tank in the distance, and we do, and that quickly gives us a 4th kill. And now we're going to try and use our hit points just to take care of this Tiger 2 quickly. Quickly is kind of what I want to achieve, just because the artillery is constantly trying to shoot us. So this tank needs to die fast, because that's going to mean it's going to limit the damage we're going to take from artillery. We might be able to get unspotted. So out of that engagement, we've got 4,500 damage, 4 kills. But it's still a close game. It's still 8 versus 7. But it's at this stage of the game where we've done the hard graft. We've done the difficult part. We've kind of won this area. And now it's getting to the situation where we've got a good chance to try and farm some damage at the end of the game. Because it's, as you can see, we kind of won the 1-2 area somewhat. Now the enemy team have lost the field as well. We should be able to trap them in the corner and put them into a situation where they're fighting more than one angle, and that's going to be good for us. There's still 2 enemy artilleries in the game. Obviously, since to change the artillery, which happened quite a long time ago now, the artillery pieces do have a lot more hit points, so that is going to give us potential for more damage at the end of the game, because the artilleries can literally be in one spot, like K1, K2. One of them gets spotted. I'm looking to try and get the 1-shot kill there on that enemy AMX 50-100. We do snap it in. Unfortunately, it doesn't land, but that's just part of the parcel there. Try and snap in a shot on the Tiger as well. But at this point, I'm just trying to close the distance. I'm going to take a time to stop and aim that shot on the Tiger. Now that he is a kill shot, we do pick up the 5th kill. So we've got potential to get a Top Gun or maybe even a Devastator here if we're lucky, as well as racking up a bit more damage. We're on 5,300 damage already. There's only 4 tanks, and that's what I was kind of saying. The hard graft was done when we won that field area, because now the enemy tanks are in a situation where they're fighting multiple angles. The enemy Jaguar 2 puts a shot into us. That tank, we're going to need to get pretty close to spot them. We do spot them now. He gets a shot in, puts us onto a one shot. We're hoping we can out reload him though and get our last shot in. We don't out reload him, but he does miss his shot. We do pick up the 6th kill of the game with only 2 enemy tanks left. One being the enemy artillery. So like I say, they have more hit points, which allows us to get a few more shots in here at the end of the game. We're hoping to try and land this shot, maybe pick up the Devastator. We do land the shot, putting us into 6,500 damage and 7 kills. So we have a really nice game there. 2,300 odd base XP, getting the ace tanker of course, and yeah, go on to have a really decent game. We've only one more replay to come, which is the final one where we achieve a third marks. So let's move on to the final replay. Okay, so here we are for the final replay then, the one where we achieved the third marks of excellence. It is on El Alamein, and the first thing I need to say is unfortunately there's no game sound for this particular replay because it corrupted when I recorded the video, which was a shame, but I wanted to show you anyway because this was obviously the game we achieved the third marks of excellence. So it does mean you can only hear my voice, so I can only apologise in advance for that. But in this particular replay, it's a tier 8 matchmaking. There's 1 enemy light tank again and 1 enemy artillery. So initially I'm going to go and try and play the sort of, I guess you could call it a heavy flank, but I want to take a more central route to it because I like to be as close to the middle of the map as I can, a lot of the time, because I don't always know exactly where the damage is going to be. So if I'm in the middle, it gives me the best opportunity to get to that damage, which is what we want when we're going for this third marks of excellence. So I'm hoping here the light tank hasn't been aggressive, because the danger is if I get spotted on the cross, which I have, shots could start coming my way by the enemy artillery, etc. But I'm using all these disruptible buildings as cover, so they're going to only have slim shots. Slim chances of getting shots into us. It looks like we do have quite some support coming this way. Enemy light tank, we do manage to land. We tried to land a double shot into him, but only one of the shots actually hit. But we do pick up a tiny bit of damage anyway and don't lose any in return. So not all too bad. And now we get into this position. Unfortunately for me, it's an auto loader, and I think he's just coming straight over onto us, which is not good. I should have cover from behind me. He does bounce a shot, but yeah, I'm not in a. This is not a good situation when it's I'm going for my far marks of excellence. I kind of thought I was going to lose my tank there. I've lost quite some, a lot of my hit points, but I do pick up 1,000 assistance and 1,000 damage for it, so it's not the end of the world. Yes, I have lost quite a chunk of hit points, but we also gained damage for that, and we gained assistance, which is good for our marks of excellence here. So I'm picking up the assistance here. It's only really me in front which is spotting these tanks. I then get slapped by the big gun on the Borsig, which puts me onto 300 hit points. Now that is not, this is not a good start now, because this has put me on a one shot to a lot of tanks, and at this stage I will drop on my mark of excellence. But I have managed to pick up 1,600 assistance and 1,000 damage, but I'm still in the game, so I'm still going to go out. I might not get hit again ever in this game, so you just got to keep going. You just got to try and do what I was doing, but just be a little bit more careful so I don't get slapped by a Borsig again and lose all my hit points. But at the same time, I do want to try and spot them because I want to try and make sure that, whilst I know I'm getting assistance here, if I do detect them, that means I have got tanks actually covering me from the hill in the background. But like I said, I just got to be careful because I'm conscious of that Borsig getting a shot into me. Enemy Earthshaker full health practically comes behind me, which I would be in a one shot to. Thankfully, I've seen it in time, so I've managed to get hold down to this tank. Obviously, he could try and pen a cupola, and he gets slapped. And again, we pick up some more assistance, puts it on one shot. I will beat the reload of this Earthshaker here, and thankfully, we'll hit our shot, putting us onto about 2,000 damage and 1,800 assistance. And I didn't need a particularly humongous game at this point. I think I was fairly close. So right now, there's a chance I've already got enough to mark this tank, because I'm on about 4,000 combined right now, so that could be enough. But ideally, I was thinking in my head, I probably need about 5,000 combined to guarantee it. So that's what I'm trying to go for. I don't need to hit too many more shots. I then get hit by someone behind me and puts me on 100 hit points. I'm definitely a one shot to a lot of tanks now, and this game's still fairly close. I mean, we are winning this game. It is a 13 versus 10, but enemy tanks I suspect are starting to flank round behind us, because I don't know where that heavy tank was, the autoloader from earlier, because I never actually killed that tank. And it looks like he is behind us, and he is on a one-shot there. So we're trying to just keep them detected here, just so we can pick up some assistance from them. Unfortunately, it wasn't our spot, but we do manage to finish the kill on the T-42 medium tank there, picking up our third kill of this game. And this game is starting to look a lot more favourable to our team, just because we've taken, well, the majority of the map control left. And the second you start to take control of the full map, you just more likely to win, because the enemy team have less places to hide, less places to go. You box them in, and as I always say, they lose control of the map, and then they always, they tend to lose the game more often than not, unless you always have a hero in the enemy team who just does really, really well. But right now, there's 7 tanks remaining. Because I'm feeling confident that I've free marked this tank at this stage, the pressure is off on the game. I can take even more chances now, because if I do die, it's not the end of the world. So I'm trying to push forward just to get into a position to see if I can spot their hill, the enemy tanks on the hill, because there will be tanks on the hill on my right hand side, which I'm not looking at now. Here on the right hand side there will be tanks, and that's what I'm trying to spot, because if those tanks get spotted up, which I do, like this enemy heavy which is full health, one, it gives me an opportunity to shoot them. I'm surprised I didn't get spotted there, which is handy, because I know he's probably not got a great crew, and also I've got a good chance of just picking up more assistance. We've got a friendly artillery in the game who can shoot that tank, got tanks in the distance, and just trying to get as much as we can. So far I've got 3,000 damage, 2,100 assistance and 3 kills. Get a nice shot there, which puts us on about 3,600 damage with only 4 tanks remaining now versus 11. So I'm just going to drive forward and to see if we can get any last bit of damage or assistance out of this game to bring it to an end, because like I say, at this stage, I know I've kind of free marked the tank right now, so even if I die, I got a little bit fortunate earlier because I got left on that one shot. Could have gone worse for me, but yeah, got pretty much a full health mill there, which is in a position where I don't want to just throw my tank away. Don't need silly, especially when I'm picking up the assistance here. I might also just wait and pick up this assistance, and if he drives forward, I'll be able to get a shot in. But I do farm pretty much all of his health of assistance there, which puts us on to just shy of 3,000 assistance, 3,600 damage and 3 kills. So I've got well over the 5,000 damage I required right now, and it's just 2 tanks. It's just a case of, can I get any more out of this game? Can I get any damage to put us on to about 4,000 damage, which would be good, just a good way to end the game. It just depends if we can get there or not. I mean, both these tanks I'm pretty confident are in this location. They are there. I'm trying to get over now just to help our friendly light tanks. It looks like this enemy tank is going to come and try and get a shot into our Vanguard. We swapped to the double gun mechanic so we can get the kill on this Panther, and we do finish that game with a 4th kill, put us about 4,000, and brings us then to the video. So yeah, let's just see how we got on exactly before we say goodbyes. We get 4 kills, 4,000 damage, 3,000 assistance, only the first class, but we do get that 3 marks of excellence. So yeah, thank you so much. If you liked the video, please remember to like and subscribe, all that typical YouTuber stuff, because it does really help, so I would really appreciate it. But if not, yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your amazing support, and as always, happy at tanking.
Enemy in sight! Hadouken!